Okay, so basically the test shows that your turbo actuator shot, and this basically runs the sweeper gear here, and then on this side is actually where the exhaust brake kicks on. So when it comes on, it shuts it, and basically it restricts the airflow to where it only comes out of these holes.
What's up, guys? So today I'm here in Elkhart, Indiana, and we're going to be taking a look at a 2019 Dodge. You guys may recognize this truck. It is Just for Debs on YouTube. She had started having some issues out of this truck and took it into the dealership. They checked the turbo, pulled the turbo off and checked it out. Said the turbo is good, but the actuator is bad. I got with City Diesel in Knoxville, Tennessee, and got a self-learning turbo actuator. I'm gonna be sticking it on. This is my first time. I have no idea what I'm doing. I put one of these on that I had to program myself, but this one is supposed to be self-learning. I'm gonna have to call them and get the scoop on how that works. And let's see, the first thing is taking an 8mm, taking the inner fender liner out. So to the best of my understanding, this is my first time. The last one that I programmed, when I say I programmed one before, the guys already had everything done. They did the work, I just programmed it. So this is my first time changing one personally. But these screws right here, they're gonna come out, and then I think there's a couple more in here in recessed places. I know there's one like right here. I'm gonna take whatever screws I can find in this inner fender liner out and get it out of the way, and then we should be able to see the turbo actuator. So on the bottom, this piece did have to come off. One screw is here, one screw is here, but there's another screw hiding in behind it. Take it off, and just a small handful of screws. There's not one right there, but there was one here, and then there was one right here. And I believe this thing should, oh, it looks like maybe a 10. I don't think that's an 8. And it looks like it is holding too, so let me grab a 10. I'll get this last bolt out. Then that, oh, no, it doesn't have to come out. So push it in, pull it down, and it comes out. Yep, so start working it at the front and pulling it down, and it will kind of turn and it comes out. So now, here's what we're going after. The turbo actuator right here. There's supposed to be a banjo style bolt on the bottom that drains coolant. I'm gonna have to find that right quick, and then I'll be back. On the bottom of the turbo, there is a larger tube. It looks like an accordion style tube. That's the oil drain, for the oil to drain out of the turbo back into the engine. And then right behind it is that banjo bolt I was talking about. You follow the coolant line around the side of the block, and that's what I'm doing right here. There's a straight shot at that line versus trying to take it off at the bottom of the turbo. I'm not draining the coolant straight up in the parking lot. I wouldn't do that. But if you look, here is that bolt. I didn't take it out because I don't want to have to rethread it into the block. I just loosened it up and put the drain pan underneath. Now the other end of that line, if I can follow it, I got a flashlight in the way, but if you follow it, it goes up and into the turbo right there. That's the bolt that they were telling me I should take loose to drain it. Well, it goes downhill over here to this bolt, and that's that same coolant line. So when it stops draining coolant out right there, we should be good to pull the actuator. The actuator itself is right here, and there's 2 bolts on the bottom. You see the rusty Allen head bolts down there, and then there's also 2 bolts on the top. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a shot of them or not, but zoom out a little bit more. Right, well, you can get my finger on them either. Right here, these 2 bolts on top, these 2 bolts on the bottom, this one and this one, that actuator will come off. And then I've talked to them about how to install the new one, but I'm going to go ahead and read the instructions. It's against my better judgment, but I'm going to do it anyway. Read the instructions. I want to make sure we don't mess anything up on Miss Deb's truck. So I'm going to hand you back to her, and I'm going to watch coolant drain. I'll show you what I got here so far. I drained the coolant from where I showed you I was draining it from earlier, and it also said to loosen the vent. I was gonna loosen it right here, and I saw that this truck had the coolant flush, like where you would flush the heater core or something. And I thought, well, heck, I'll just unscrew that cap. Well, then I dropped the cap, so I'm looking for it. And while I'm looking for it, I think, well, you know what? I'll just go ahead and pull the actuator off. So I did. I gotta get in here and clean this up and make sure and dry all these ports out. You can't have any moisture in this portion. So I will go ahead and clean both of these coolant ports out and clean this area right here up as good as I can. But you want to check this and make sure it moves freely, and this one does. It took a little bit to get it moving, but once it started moving, it did move freely. So still looking around for that cap. Anyway, I'm gonna see if I can't find it and clean this up, and then I'll be back. But if you do have that that kind of cap right there, make sure and don't drop it. You don't have to take it off, just loosen it. Per the instructions, next thing we need to do is turn the ignition on, which I've already done, and we'll watch this gear, and we're going to plug it in. When we plug it in, it's going to set itself to where it needs to be. So I'm just trying to get the plugs lined up one-handed. Alright, here we go. There we go. So now we're ready to bolt it on the truck. So I got a little carried away. I started putting the bolts back into the actuator, and one thing led to another, and the actuator's on. I started with the bottom two bolts. I put them in so it would guide, because you want that thing to go on really straight so those little fingers go right into the groove. Do not force anything. And it did. It slid right into place. And then I went ahead and started the top two and got those all in and torqued down, tightened up. I tightened the bolt back up on the side of the block. The little cap that I dropped down into the undercarriage there, it took forever, but I found it, retrieved it, and put it back on and put some coolant in it. We did also put 2 brand new batteries in it. We had to wait for O'Reilly's. They had to charge the batteries to test them to make sure they were bad before they give her the new ones. So but yeah, so right here's what it looks like. On the other one, the plug just plugged into the actuator. On this one, there's a harness that comes off of the actuator and runs around. And I was told after the fact this is an extension wire. I thought it needed it, but apparently it didn't. But it's already zip tied up. I'm not taking it loose. I think it looks good. The inner fender shouldn't mess with it. Nothing else should mess with it. This looks like it's touching, but it's not. That you can run your finger all the way around it. And I think that's going to be good. That's about it. I did tighten the bolt back up right in there wherever it is that I used to drain right there. I tightened it back up, and let's see, the little flush port, I found the cap, got it back on there, showing to be just slightly low on coolant, but we need to get some more coolant, so I think we'll be all right on that. It's not very low at all. It's just enough to throw the light and to not be able to see it in the jug here. But yeah, anyway guys, we're going to drive it around the block. If everything goes good, no codes come back, we're going to call this done. Go get some lunch, and we're gonna get coolant, and the truck is gonna yell at me that my seatbelt is not buckled, but I want to show you no check engine light. So we'll see how it does on the road trip, and I'll let you know when we get back. So I went and got some more coolant for the truck, and went to a place called the Flipping Cow here in Elkhart. If you haven't tried it, it's pretty good if you like burgers and stuff. And we're headed back to Dan's, and no lights on the dash. I put the coolant in after we ate, and that pretty much cut that light out, and everything seems happy. There's no codes in the ECM. All is good. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like early access to all of my videos pretty much before they ever make it to YouTube or any other platform, and exclusive videos that won't ever make it to any other platform, consider going over and checking out my membership site. I've left the link in the description and in the comments of this video. Go over, check it out. It's a 14-day free trial. If you don't like it, cancel it anytime. Thank you for considering. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.